now we have a monolithic identity. We are wonderful, they are not. Simple. We are good, they are bad. Beginning to acknowledge means to begin to understand that, as I said, we are not as wonderful as we want to be. And we better acknowledging also to ourselves. So people speak of making peace with yourself. One of the elements of it, not all of it, but one of the elements of it is to come to realize I am also a perpetrator. I am a victim, all right, most of the time. But sometimes in the afternoons, I'm a perpetrator. It also means come to see and understand the two-sidedness of the conflict. There isn't one story, there are at least two, very often three or more. The other one is empathy. And it has at least two components. One is not that difficult. Come to understand the other side. Which means come to understand their culture. Come to understand where they come from. Where their aspirations come from. Why do they want certain things, etc. The second element is a little bit more difficult. Come to feel with the other side. Go to a refugee camp. Try to feel. Go to the city of Sderot. Feel what it means to be under a certain threat. Come to feel with the other side. And then reduce stereotypes and prejudice. And the third element I said is to cultivate a disposition for nonviolent conflict resolution or management. It's an attitude, if you want, it's a disposition. It's a desire. It is a way of thinking about conflict. And let me stop here for a minute and divert. And I am a known, what is it? It's okay.
Digressing, diverting.
Diverting. I'm a deviant. I want to deviate and I'm a known deviant. Thank you. And I'm not talking about interpersonal conflict. And the four skills do not really figure very importantly in conflict, in peacification. I'm sorry if I say something that some people may not like. There is absolutely no conflict between me and Mustafa from Gaza. None whatsoever. So I don't need to acquire skills of conflict resolution. When it comes to my wife, that's a different story. Yes, there I vaguely need some conflict resolution. She does not, of course. So when it comes between me or us and the Palestinians, we need many other things. Skills are not important things. Because I don't need to settle anything with Mustafa on an individual basis, which requires skill. Yes, some skills like listening. These are important skills, I agree, but it's not the main body of peace education. What is to acquire particularly the disposition, the attitude, the perceptions, the beliefs that concern peaceful resolution or non-violent resolution and settlement of conflict. When I spoke, I mentioned collective narratives. And let me say something. I said a conflict stands on two legs, the political and the psychological. So since we are now anatomical, let's go into the psychological leg. And there is a bone there on which really the leg stands. And that bone is a collective narrative. Every family, every settlement, every tribe, every nation, every church, I would say, has its own collective narrative. It might be a variant of other, a larger collective narrative, and still it has. Every family has its secrets. Did you know that my father had a cousin who spent time in jail? It's part of the family collective narrative. Nobody would ever mention it, God forbid. But it's part of the collective narrative. There's so many stories I discovered after my parents died. I was shocked. For 55 years, I never mentioned them. It's part of the story, our past. Every family is a saga, certainly a nation. And the collective narrative has at least 3 components. Again, if you ask me why 3, you know already the answer. One is the collective historical memory. The second is collectively shared sets of beliefs. And the third is shared sense of collective identity. Let me speak about them a little bit. Because the challenges that face this education are exactly these 3 plus another 2. These 3 are the roadblocks, the barriers that stand in the way of collective narratives. Let me go into history.